Hey guys and gals, my name is Matt. I'm going to be telling you about a little project I've been working on called GreyBox Pwn. And I'll warn you right now, ooh, coming for you. My demo's broken, but I recorded it so you can see what I'm talking about. So what is black box testing? This is the testing you all are probably familiar with, but you probably don't even know it. This is things like penetration testing. This is where you throw attacks at a system and see what comes out. So I like to use the analogy of trying to figure out how a digestive system works based on what's coming out of it. So it's bad because there's no indication of why a test has failed. You can be close to a vulnerability but not even know. You might be a semicolon or a quotation mark off, and you wouldn't have any idea. Compare that with white box testing. This is things like code review or design review. This is good because it gives the consultant all the information about a system, but it's bad because it can kind of overwhelm the consultant with information. And it's hard to hypothesize how things will work on the network layer or the platform layer or the application layer. I use the analogy of trying to figure out how a digestive system works based on looking at a picture. So you can look at a diagram, but it's not going to tell you if there's a vulnerability or if the system's broken somewhere. So wouldn't it be cool? I had the idea when I was thinking of submitting a talk, if there's a way of testing that showed the inner workings of the code, so you could kind of see data as it transformed and moved through a system. You could process real input like black box testing, but you could see how it worked in the actual system like white box testing. This would allow you, this a really, really huge benefit for penetration testers. So I set out to develop something similar to this, and I kind of came close. So the recipe I came up with, I started with the lamp stack. I chose something called Bitnami. They have kind of cookie cutter pre-made lamp stacks. It was good because it saved me a lot of time setting everything up. It was bad because it's not working right now. Also, it had kind of settings and stuff tucked away in weird places, so it kind of took some getting used to. Then I used Xdebug specifically because I wanted to target WordPress and PHP. And you put those all together, and hopefully you get some ownage. So here's the part where I have a live demo. That's not going to work. I did Windows updates right before I came. But hey, you guys, actually my talk's kind of boring, but this was the most boring part. So you guys got off really easy. What it's going to show is me digging through some trace files. Luckily, I have a backup plan. I took some videos of the attack. So this is me starting the virtual machine here. And I have it kind of in fast motion because with Xdebug working, it slows everything way down. And then on the bottom left here, I'm going to putty into it. Okay, so I'm logging in. On the right is my WordPress website, super secure WordPress website. On the left, I'm showing the trace files as they grow. You can see how much data it's saving. It's logging every function call and every variable. So it's already 64 megs of pure text. So that's huge if you've ever looked at 64 megs of text. When it stops growing, that means the page is, that function is done, so I save that. I'm going to the vulnerable, what I suspect to be a vulnerable plugin. It's called the testimonial plugin, and that's growing. I started at the most popular plugins and kind of worked my way to the bottom, and I got pretty far down before I found something. So this is really low-hanging fruit. I'm not going to give you a lot of information about the plugin itself because I haven't talked to the author. I looked at, it's a commercial plugin. There's only been 50 downloads, so it's nothing spectacular. I don't want to beef it up. Here I'm throwing a SQL injection attack at it, and I'm hoping this will work. If that works, it's going to replace this default category with the admin password. And it right there, it just derped out, and we have no idea why. This is the part in the talk where I dig through a trace file and show you, tracing it through, why it derped out. It turns out that it doesn't like quotation marks. And I wouldn't have known that without looking through some trace logs. So this is me throwing an attack at it without any quotation marks. So it's pretty much the same attack, but instead of using the word admin with quotation marks around it, I'm using something called the char function, or the char function, and I use the ASCII values of admin. So let's see. So I'm using union select, user login, and a password. And instead of using quotation marks, I'm using the ASCII for ADMIN. And if it works, we will have a password. Boom! Right there. It's actually a password hash, so it's not like the full-blown password. But I mean, with the password hash, you can do stuff like rainbow tables or brute force it or whatever. So that was kind of lame. Sorry. So what did I learn? The good takeaways is Xdebug, you can turn up the logging way super high, so you can log every function and variable. So there's really good coverage. It has an API which could potentially plug into other tools, and it worked. That vulnerability I might have missed because it was just a quotation mark. I could have thrown 24 attacks at it or 2,000 attacks at it and missed it. I was able to find an undiscovered vulnerability in a plugin, in a commercial plugin for WordPress. Boom! So what's the bad takeaways? Because it can be configured to log every function and variable, it has lots of data, so the signal to noise ratio is really low. This made for huge trace files. I logged into the VM one time and it was a gigabyte of trace files, so and that's just text. So gigabyte of text. And it slows the application way down. It took me about 15 minutes just to do those 3 little functions. And Xdebug kind of sucks and is buggy. The documentation for the API is sparse and weird. So what's future possibilities? If you all are familiar with Burp Suite, I hope to maybe plug in an API call from that to Xdebug's API. I think it'd be really cool to throw attacks directly from there and watch it trace through. Maybe some sort of automatic flagging that sees if input changes. So when they do remove quotation marks or add slashes or whatever, it'll flag that. And it doesn't have to be limited to Xdebug. There's lots of tracing options out there for different programming languages. So I can make the VMware, I can fix the VMware and make it available to anyone if you're interested. So hit me up. My name is Matt. Thank you very much.